Hi, this is Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com with another episode of Fast Action Fridays. Today is my wonderful guest, Scarlett De Bease, who I know from a mastermind group that we are both in. And I love Scarlett's take on how to grow your business and confidence with what you wear. Scarlett, welcome to the show. And can you tell everybody a little bit more about yourself?
Hi, Kat. Thank you. Yeah. So I am known as an image consultant or a wardrobe stylist. Basically, what that means, real simply, is that I show women what to wear. And I show them what to wear for the body that is probably not exactly what it used to be. And certainly your life isn't what it used to be. And your goals aren't what they used to be. So basically, women, when you're young, you got it all going on. We really do, but we don't realize it always. And we don't think about it. We're raising our children and everything's focused on the family. And now we're getting, 40, 50, 60, and we're focusing on ourselves, or we should be. And many of us have our own businesses and don't realize, or do realize, but don't know what to do about it, that what you're wearing is really messing up your head. And it's messing up how you feel about yourself. And that's keeping you from presenting yourself as really good as you are, and to show that you're really good at what you do. And people who are insecure about what they're wearing tend to start to hide. And you can't be successful, and you can't grow a business, and you can't have a great personal life if you're in this feeling of having to hide. Because that's insecurity, that's lack of confidence. So I have a dream job. I get to make people feel better about themselves.
That's great. And I can relate to what you wear. I love working from home. And I often tell people I'm business on top, what not to wear below, because I like comfort a lot. And I know how important it is to show up looking like I know what I'm doing. But there's an internal process too. I get a whole lot more done during the day if I come to work dressed for work than if I'm just in my grubbies and bouncing in and out from the garden all day.
It's absolutely true. It totally changes. When you're more serious in what you wear, it affects what you're doing. Absolutely. But I have to say, you can be as comfortable as you are in like pajamas, in clothes that will look like normal clothes. Like I'm wearing like stretchy denim legging pants, they're as comfortable as if I was wearing, sweatpants, but if I answer the door now, I wouldn't be hiding, I would actually open the door wide as opposed to hiding like this, everything that I wear and everything that I have my clients wear has some stretch to it. So you can still be as comfortable from head to toe. And it really changes how you feel. When I work from home almost, for 9 years now, I do most of my work virtually. And when you are always like in this mindset of, we just roll out of bed and then get to the desk, you're not going to be as productive as you are when you treat it as though you were going into a regular office. It's not just what you wear, but it's how you approach when you get up, and how you approach what you're going to do at your desk, and the phone calls you make. And the reason why people are successful working from home now is they are treating it the same way they did in the office. So we should be always ready to answer the door, is pretty much what I think.
Oh, that's a great tip. You don't have to be dressed to the nines, but you shouldn't be embarrassed to answer the door in what you're wearing. I also know, and I'd like you to address this a little bit. A lot of the people that I coach in my business complain that they don't have the support of their family and friends, or didn't earlier on, or use that as an excuse that for them not moving forward the way they should. And we talk about how you show up in your life. If you're showing up around your home, trying to run a home-based business, and you're not showing up in something that you feel comfortable and confident in, your family's going to pick up on that. And why should they support you if you don't believe in yourself first and you're not willing to show that? Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because that really that really deals with that self-confidence side of things.
Yeah. And what's the message you're sending to your family, especially your children? You know, a lot of women have hired me because they realized they were sending a very bad message to their daughters, which was if mom doesn't care, then the daughters are going to start to not care. Or if the mom, or if you're always saying, oh, I'm too heavy, or I need to go on a diet, if you're always saying negative things about yourself, it brings everybody down. And then, of course, your children start to repeat the things that you say, and good and bad. And usually it's the bad things they repeat, not the good ones, right? So, it totally affects everything. When a woman takes the time to invest in herself, and it doesn't have to be hard, but when you just start, maybe it is brushing your hair, putting on some lipstick or chapstick, or, putting on some clothes that make you feel good. So when you pass your reflection, you actually look instead of run away. When you start doing that, it changes the dynamic of the whole family, of everybody around you. You start actually accepting invitations to go places. I had a client once who kept finding excuses not to go to her husband's big office party, that he had an annual big party every year. I have a headache, I have a stomach virus, I have a cold. It was always an excuse because she was so afraid to be seen because she didn't like her body, And once she saw that she can look great, but she had to have the right clothes, then she was able to go out again, totally change the dynamic of the marriage, totally. So it affects everybody. It's not just you, so you're right. It's not about us. It's everybody's involved. We make a decision about ourselves, from everything from, what we wear to what we eat, or, how we act. It all has to do with what everything in the inside comes out on the outside. And so we can change the inside by changing the outside, kind of work together,
Choice and personal responsibility to decide we want to make a choice, a different choice than we've been doing. All right. So what are some tips to help us either get us in that right mind frame to bring more of ourselves, our better selves?
Yeah.
Or dressing ourselves? Where do you take the people you coach?
Well, the first thing, it's a couple of things. The first thing I want to say for people is to not think that you have to lose weight and then everything is going to be perfect and everything's going to be magical. Because I have clients who are a size 4, I have clients who are a size 24, and a lot in between. And the size 4 is not necessarily dressing any better than somebody who's larger. Just because you're smaller doesn't mean your clothes magically are perfect for you. So I always say, it's not the clothes, it's not you that's wrong. It's the clothes that you've been wearing is wrong. So I always start with showing women a couple of things. What are their best colors? Because if you keep buying the wrong color, you're going to always look a little sicker, a little older. Your wardrobe is not going to be able to be mixed and matched well. You're going to be, sometimes people are going to ask you, you're okay? Because you're wearing a color that makes you look yellow or green. So color is really important. And when you wear a color that makes everything sparkle, it also changes how you look at yourself and how others see you. People are going to start, giving you compliments when you wear better colors. And then I also go into fit. It's not just putting it on and thank God it closes and I got to get it now in every color because it closed. It's got to be something that fits your body, meaning not too tight, not trying to squeeze into a size, and not so big, which makes you look bigger. So for a lot of us, and I've been guilty of this, I would wear things, and a lot of my clients would wear things that were bigger on them because they thought, oh, good, nobody can see anything now. But when you're adding all that extra with the fabric, you're actually making yourself look bigger. So sometimes I have to tell my clients to go down a size in what they're buying, which is, who doesn't want to hear that, right? So
I've been guilty of that too. And my husband's been losing a lot of weight lately. And it was the same with him. I said, you've got to go pick a different t-shirt today because that one's 3 sizes too big and you look like you're homeless, and he says, well, I don't really care, meaning him. And I said, but I do. people are going to think I'm not taking care of you.
No, but it's a good observation. I mean, people say they don't care, but we all really care. Nobody ever gets a compliment and goes, oh, I hate when people tell me that. I mean, nobody ever does that. We want to be recognized. We want to be complimented. We want to feel good. No matter what anybody says, I don't care what other people think. Yeah, you do, because it's human nature. We all want to be seen. And
we really want to be recognized for who we are, because a compliment that says, you look terrific today is a much better compliment than, oh, I love that jacket you're wearing.
Exactly.
Like, did my jacket precede me into the room or something?
Right. But sometimes women get a compliment when they wear something different, and it could be horrible for them. It could be a terrible color or fit for them, but because it's just so different than they usually wear, they might get a compliment because people are so happy to see them in something different. Women tend to wear the same kind of look over and over and over again. And what I do with my clients is I show them all the different things that they never even knew could look good on them. So I always encourage women to experiment a little bit. Try something you never would have tried on before. You might be pleasantly surprised, but until you try it on, you're not going to know.
I know, looking at something on the hanger, I can't tell if it's going to fit. And here in the US, there's no such thing as standardization in clothing. It differs from brand to brand. I can still get into clothing that says size 8, and I don't feel a size 8 for many decades now. And I have some clothing that is 16 or double X, and they're too tight on me. And it's like, what's going on here? Question for you. Do women typically wear, if we're not dressing our right size and not saying what the number is, just something that fits our body well, do we tend to, if we're not doing that, do we tend to wear something too big or too small?
Depends upon if the person's shopping. If they're not shopping, they're wearing something that's a little bit too tight. And when something's a little bit too tight, it makes us look bigger, because then you have all these, the baker's dozen, all these little ruffles and ridges, as I call them, and so that's the problem. If people are saying, I'm not buying anything until I lose weight, and now they're wearing the clothes that are too tight, first of all, it's going to make them feel subconsciously awful, because when something's tight, you can't stop thinking about it, right? I mean, it's reminding you the whole time, so then you have that. Then you're going to look bigger because everything's too big on you. If you're a shopper, if you're willing to buy something and you're doing it on your own, and you buy things that are too big, well, then so it's 50-50. Then you're going to have clothes that are too big for you. It's finding clothes that are fitting you as you are now. That seems to be the hardest thing for a lot of women to do. They either go too small or they go too big. And a lot of times it's because they're hung up on a number and they don't want to change their size, or they just think, like you were saying, like now you said that you don't feel like you could be an 8. So now when you go in a store, you're never going to look at an 8, but maybe you are. I'm just saying, maybe you are an 8. I have a customer. She's a plus size client, and she was buying clothes that were way too big for her. And she was buying like 3X when really she was more like a 1. So, but she felt that she had to wear everything bigger to hide. And instead, everything was making her look not only bigger, but messier, like with the larger t-shirts, Mm-hmm. So it's really important to find what works for you now. And I always tell women, when you buy something, buy something that just misses the body, nothing that's holding you too tight and nothing that's too big, just misses you. So you can't see all the bumps,
Mm-hmm.
all the ridges. And then to look for clothes that will make your eyes sparkle, make your skin tone sparkle, that will make you look a little smaller and a little taller. And it's all possible when you're wearing the right style and the right fit. And so sometimes if you're going to shop online, buy 2 sizes of something, try on both sizes. If you're in the dressing room, take in 2 sizes. Be willing to get over what the number or letter is on the label and just try different sizes, and you'll be shocked, because if you wear what fits you, you're going to feel great. It doesn't matter what the label says. It just doesn't matter.
That's so true. And style has everything to do with whether the number of the size of the garment fits or not. And looking back in my own closet, the things that are 8s are a different style than the things that are double X's, where I want something looser, like a sweatshirt or a like that. I can hear people complaining right now. I can't afford to go shopping. And I don't think that's true either. How do you deal with that complaint?
You can't afford to buy clothes that you end up not wearing or not feeling good in. That's what you really can't afford. It doesn't, when you know what works for you, it doesn't matter if you go to Kohl's, which is a US, moderately priced chain, or if you go to like Neiman Marcus, which is very expensive. The style guidelines that are right for you can be applied at any price point. So you can buy less expensive clothes. They likely won't last as long as some other things. Depends. But it doesn't really matter in other words, let's say you can get a top for $20 or a top for $200. If either one is not the right color and fit for you and style, it's just a waste of money. But if you stick to the guidelines that are right for you, you can do just as well with a $20 top as you could with a $200 top. Personally, I'm not really into expensive clothes, or I definitely don't like labels, or I'm not somebody I'm not a housewife on HBO on Bravo. You're not going to see me with the Chanel stuff and all that stuff. That's not me, and that's not my typical client either. So nobody has to know where you get your clothes. It just has to fit you right and be the right style.
I've never had anyone ask me what brand of clothing I'm wearing. That's just not been important to me.
That's a different world. And women like that, they just want to buy what's in and what's trendy, what everybody else is wearing. I personally, and for all my clients and people that I hang out with, we want to be our own people. We want to be unique. We don't want to be like everybody else. And by the way, in business, if you dress like everybody else, how are you going to stand out? How is someone going to see you in a room or on a Zoom room and see that you're different? Because if you're different, you're somebody who can solve somebody's problem.
Right.
Else, you just going to disappear.
I know I got over a hang up of mine a decade or so ago about spending what I thought was too much for a garment. And I divided it by how many times do I expect to wear this garment? And that helped a lot for getting a couple key pieces that cost a little bit more, but they have been workhorses in my wardrobe ever since. And like you said, you can have something that was extremely inexpensive, and if it just sits there and you never wear it, that was still a waste of money.
Absolutely. And a lot of women will buy something because, it doesn't cost a lot, but then they keep doing that. So let's say you get a top for, $15, and because you're so happy it fits you, you bought it in 4 colors, right? So now that's whatever that is, $60. So now you spend $60 on something that when you put on, you go, you don't feel so good on. So then you go out and buy something else. So it just keeps going. So there's no bargain out there. You're right. But the amortizing, when you like I have a client, I found her a really cool scarf years ago. And the scarf then was maybe like $60, which seemed like a lot, but she's worn it so many times in so many different ways. She now says it owes her money. I mean, so and a necklace too, so there's ways to sometimes spend a little bit more on a workhorse, like you said, but you don't have to, but it helps to have a few pieces that you can really wear over and over and over again, and create different outfits with. It's absolutely, important.
I want everybody that is either watching or listening to this to know that you've got a wonderful freebie. It's a checklist about how to look instantly 10 pounds thinner without hitting the gym. And I picked this up earlier today, and it's a great little checklist. And I love the idea of posting this in your closet to remind you what to grab to help you look better and more confident in the clothes you wear. Before we close out this episode, are there a handful of key garments that you recommend a woman have in her wardrobe?
A good pair of black, well-fitting pants. You don't need 4 or 5 or 45 of them. I've seen this. You need one for long, one for heels, one for flats. That's it. And then a lot more tops than you have bottoms. I see a lot of lopsidedness. Women have more bottoms than tops, and you have to make a lot of outfits. You want to have a solid top that really is a special color. So perhaps if you have like blue eyes, it could be a color that's the same as your eye color, some sort of really vibrant color that'll bring out your skin tone in a good way and your eye color in a good way. You want to have a few scarves if you're going to wear scarves. They can be very thin and lightweight, but those are great to put over a basic top and change it up. Also with jackets, they're fantastic. Comfortable shoes that don't look comfortable. I'm really into, not looking like you're wearing orthotics. There are plenty of great shoes out there now, manufacturers that make really good looking shoes that you cannot even tell. People can put an insert in, or have cushioning. To me, it has to have cushioning. And then really it depends upon what your business is and what you do. So if somebody is in a creative field, I am a huge fan of accessories. My clients know that. Accessories are a great way to show personality and creativity, and a great way to change a very simple outfit into multiple different outfits, But the must-have is really depending on each person. For some people, a certain kind of a jacket would be great. For others, they would need something that'd be a little bit longer. I call them toppers. So it really depends upon each person. The truth is, if you buy things in just your best colors, everything will start being able to be mixed and matched, and you can start to have less in your closet, but more outfits. So after I work with somebody virtually or in person, a lot of clothes are taken out because she realizes that they really aren't doing her any good, but she'll have more outfits now because now she can see what she has. Now she has new combinations. And when you have less, you can actually create more. Because if you go in your closet, there's tons of clothes, you're not going to be digging back there, But it's really, I don't do generalized suggestions because it's really so specific to each person, but I do suggest is tops. Tops is how you can keep making different outfits.
Yeah, totally agree. And I'm at that point where I have weeded out my closet and my drawers to the point where I'm very comfortable saying, if I get something new, I know what's going out next.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a huge walk-in closet.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Scarlett. These are really important tips in a discussion. I don't think women and even men have enough, especially for those of us who work from home.
Right.
And it really does elevate our self-confidence if we feel comfortable and presentable in what we are wearing. Do you have a final bit of advice or a last tip for us?
Yes, final tip is, not knowing what to wear is very, very stressful, but not doing anything about it is very self-destructive.
That is a great quote to end on. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you. Thanks, Kat. Thanks a lot.
And I'm Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com, closing another episode of Fast Action Fridays. Join me next time when I will have another great guest. Bye.